Okay, so it's 4 in the morning. And it is, my sleep was jacked all night. And I feel like a part of the sleeping thing right now is the intensity of the planet. It's energetic. It is so fucking intense. And it's like making my whole body it feels like electrified almost. And, um, and I was thinking, because I was outside all day yesterday. And I was so tired, man. This is the thing too about energy, is in what we tell ourselves, because it's so easy, when your sleep is just fucked, and then because there is days where it's just like, oh my God, I gotta take a nap. Which I guess if you're a man and you are a napper, it increases your lifespan by a lot. I just saw about that, so there's a study about it. But everything is true when you take care of yourself. And if you need to take a nap, take a goddamn nap. Um, but the thing about energy is that when you go and you start doing something, energy begets energy. And so energy feeds itself. And so the more that you're doing, the more that you start being energized. And so I was waiting for the wood guy, and I was just like dragging, man. And on the weekends, that the neighbor goes to her boyfriend's, which I feel bad for the dogs. Like they're there so much by themselves. I just feel bad because I have such the opposite over here. And these dogs, these are the most happiest little pack now. Except Archie has got a little bully in him. He really is kind of harasses Max, and he's kind of a little bitch sometimes. So I have to kind of be on top of him a little. But anyways, I was feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm just so glad that's done. But then I was like, oh, but the wood guy's coming. I gotta stay awake. When's he gonna come? And and I was waiting and waiting, and he had said he was gonna be there late morning. And so when he went there like about 11:30, I messaged him. He's, oh, forgot. No, I'm sorry. I had to go to work. And so he'll bring it sometime this week or next weekend. And so I'm gonna get 2 more loads too. And I'm gonna message him. I haven't told him that. Yeah, I always get it, but I'm gonna get ready. I'll tell you a few things. So the I and you can't get all upset. Like I've got this whole thing waiting on my son-in-law too. And luckily, I just went out and put the carport tarp. I had it, and I had used it for the wood pile last year. God, time is so merged. By the time I had it, I used it for this wood pile. I know I used it last year. The year before, I don't know. Now I don't even know when the carport fell on. Like everything is just like, I don't know. It's just merging into itself. The but my son-in-law is supposed to be coming and doing that roof, and I've got these other things like this fucking bathroom is gonna fall through, and the um the roof is gonna fall on the other building. And so I've been waiting for him, and there keeps being all these things. And so he messaged me yesterday too, like at the same time. Like I'd messaged the wood guy, and then all of a sudden it was my son-in-law messages me. And he was saying, oh, his car's broke, he's got to do this, he's got to do that. I was like, do you want me to send money? No, save the money so we have money for supplies when I get there and stuff. So I've offered to send him money to pay his rent because it was the rent. It was this, it was that. And so I've offered to send him the money. And I have no idea. But these are the kind of things where you can't just push it. You can't just freak out. Like this is where I just go with the flow. Just start doing somersaults. Just go with the flow. I don't know what it is all about. I don't know what's going to happen, but go with the flow. And this is how I look at it. Oh, yeah, by the way, I am seeing where a lot of people, like I said, it seems that everybody just, the only spiritual information that most people base their spirituality on, I think, is Dolores Cannon. It's like, you cannot just go with one fucking person. Like, yesterday I heard her talking. It was something, and I was like, and the sad thing too with Dolores and her having her information just being suckled on like this, and is she's dead. Her information stopped a long while ago. We've gone a long ways since her information. So she could have very well changed her perspective multiple times throughout this period. So that's another thing that is so absurd. And they're just stuck back where she was. It's like, dude, do more research, do more studying on the paranormal, on ghosts, on all of it, because it's all connected. And anyways, it was her talking about, they tell her, so the aliens told her, and luckily we're going to be hearing from them soon, so we don't have to argue about it or whatever. We'll all find out. The truth will be shown to us all. So we can all just, I can just put it out there what I believe the truth is, and all these other people are putting out what they believe the truth is. So in this thing where she's talking, I don't know if it's because when I had first seen her or whatever, I had seen her talking like a conference or something. She would go and she would talk, people would charge and go and listen to her and stuff. So there's a lot of videos of that kind of stuff. And this was an audio thing, so I couldn't see where it was coming from, where she was or whatever. And so she says that they tell her that we are here to learn how to manipulate energy. Okay, right there, what I am talking about. Like that, manipulate. Just think of the word, manipulate. Does that seem like something that would be a positive? Does that seem like something that would come from the light? That is the difference of what I'm talking about with the dark and the light and the usage of energy. It isn't about manipulating it. Then she started saying, and there was more stuff with that, and I was like, no fucking way, man. This is not harmonious. This is not balanced. This is not being in sync with the energy. This is trying to turn the energy where you think it should go. Well, then when we are all trying to turn the energy where we should think it should go, then what happens? Then we got fucking Poseidon and Zeus and atheists or whatever the fuck. Everybody throwing things at each other. Like, that is chaos. There is an energy, an overall energy. I call it the energy of the universe. Some people can call it God, creator. It's what is creation comes from. And so that energy has its own movement. It has its own way of being in sync. And the storm comes when we're all fighting the energy. So that is the exact opposite of what we want to do. That is a three-dimensional concept of you're going to fight the energy. You're going to manipulate it. Like she literally said, learn how to manipulate energy. That we're here to learn how to manipulate energy, like to make energy our bitch. It's like we are all energy. And that is, okay, well, let's just see what they, we'll just see. Let's just see. And then her other thing that she was talking about, manifesting. And she was like, because that was a part of the manipulation too. Because see, some of this stuff is like, I think she just didn't understand or something. Because then she starts saying, if you got to picture it. You got to just keep focusing on it. You got to picture it in your mind. Once you picture it in your mind, the universe has to give it to you. They have no choice. It is a have-to thing. So all you got to do is just stay focused and picture this thing. I call bullshit. I have done that so many motherfucking times, and I manifest. And I have tried. I was even going in a certain direction. Oh, I had it. I had the vision. Oh, I had it set where I was headed before I got my brain injury. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. You do not just manifest the life you want just because you look at it. There is a life that is there for you. There is a destined path for you. Once you get on that destined path, it's like fairy dust. It's like little bells and chimes. It's like this beautiful thing over here. when you are trying to force things, manipulate things, you're angry, you're pissed, you hate everybody, all this opposite timeline. And it's very dark, it's very negative, and it's totally two different energies, and they're in both, you have both inside of you. And this is a thing too that I thought of yesterday, is that most people live in this concept of restriction or indulgence. Like all these people, like I hear them all day long on TikTok. Well, not lately, but before I would hear them all day. Because yesterday, like I wasn't going on it. I've only seen a few videos, and it's been definitely heavy over the UFO crashing thing. So we'll talk about that one. I'll talk about all the ones that I saw. But anyways, so the however it goes, whatever the fuck I was saying. Oh god, this is very, it is so fucking intense right now. And oh yeah, because I wanted to say this too. So so I went outside. Okay, so over here where I'm at, it all of a sudden says it's gonna be the next 7 days it's gonna be raining. And then I had seen a thing that there's supposed to be this big weather system that's coming in from the north. There's something supposed to be here the 17th. It's supposed to be a bad storm. And it's gonna have been raining this whole time. So oh yeah, the wood guy. So, oh yeah, the disappointment. So, oh yeah, trying to control things. Oh, trying to manipulate things. Yeah, okay. So, the wood guy said what he had to say, and I just said, okay. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna argue, I'm not gonna whine, I'm not gonna go all like, oh, I was really expecting it today. But it threw off my plan, because when he brought the wood, I was going, because he already had stacked the one wood that he brought last time. And then, so when he brought the wood, I was going to just take it and start moving it, because I have to move it to other places. And you have to have a lot of wood. This is something that you just going out and trying to make. And I'm in a neighborhood. At one movie where I was talking about, because I never finished saying what I was going to say a couple weeks ago about that, about going out and making it in the woods and the mountains and stuff, and how the people are survivors because the things that happen and stuff. But there was a movie with Robin Wright that I had watched, and she had gotten divorced or something, and she went to go be by herself and live in the cabin in the woods, which then, that was in alignment with the choices I was making. And so she it shows all these things, but you grow through all these things. And I thought it was really powerful. And but the people who live up in the mountains, you don't have anybody come and help you and support you in a lot of different ways, a lot of different things. And it's just that this storm has wiped people out. And this is a big thing too with this. Yesterday, I saw this video, and the mom and tot thing is just, it's so fucking many videos, and it's so all over the place of people's perspectives on it. There's so many. And I have mine. To me, it's like, this woman's desperate to keep her following. She doesn't even know what to do. She's been hiding herself. She's been hiding in it. And when she's having these people call her out, and now she's got both sides batting, because she keeps throwing stones at both sides without even meaning to, trying to placate to one. So anyway, she's got herself in a shit show storm, and all these people just do videos all fucking day. But this one lady, who was obviously blue. Oh my God, oh my goodness. This one video, just all of a sudden popped into my mind. It was just a guy, just his face, just like how I do. And he says something like, I will never vote for him. Or no, yeah, maybe that was it. And at the same time, this Tim Walz stuff is coming out. Oh, that's another big one. And this guy, so he's like, I'll never vote for him again. It was something, not again. It was something that was like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? And who is he talking about? And so I went in the comments to see if there was some clarity. I've never seen so many blue hearts in all my motherfucking life. I could not believe it. So they all talk in code. They all know whatever they're being told on the news or whatever. So, yeah, and whatever it is with this rally that happened this weekend, there's something to be exposed about it. There's no fucking way. It is so fucking ridiculous and so chaotic. All this different stuff, and I bet you it's gonna have something to do with California. It's gonna have something to do with like there was way more. It is gonna have something to do maybe with trying to really get it out there to people, like how much it's turning red, that California was so jam-packed that people were stuck there for hours. They couldn't get home. There wasn't enough buses. But when it comes down to the buses, I would say that that's going to come up with, oh, I paid for 10 buses. And for some reason, there's going to be some disclosure. There's going to be something. It's too insane. And so, and then of course they're all like, and Trump doesn't care about his people at all. And there was a guy who was on his way there and he had several of these and he was gonna, and then he just released him. And oh, and by the way, 13,000 registered murderers just crossed the border. We just found out about that one. So it's like, oh my God. We know for sure that they crossed and they're murderers, but this stuff is so ridiculous. Like, oh my God. So the yeah, that whole thing with that is going to be exposing something like mayors, governors, bus companies. Like, I don't know, but I think there's going to be something coming from that because it's way too. He goes and does all these different rallies, no problems, no problems. And all of a sudden goes to California. They've got miles of lines waiting where people are waiting 8 hours to get up there. People are going crazy to have him there. And then it was like, supposedly it was like over 1 million people or something. It was this huge, huge amount of people where I was like, okay, so they're trying to really show, how many people are there. And this is like a very blue place. And but this other girl I was gonna say, so she was all these mama talk videos. So she was sitting there saying that you don't how did she say it? She said it was a long thing. She was talking about Mama Tot said this stuff. And, she's just passing all this misinformation. And that's the biggest thing that we are dealing with right here is this misinformation that she is out there spreading. That is what is so outrageous. And she has gone and said that this stuff over there in North Carolina and Tennessee and stuff, that they're not helping these people. And it is such a quick, easy Google search. Like, it's so ridiculous that she even went and spread that information when all she had to do was Google it and it says right there what they're doing. It's just like, I had to respond. I just couldn't control myself. And that's probably why I got this fucking. I've been blocking some of these people when they just come in and say stuff. It's like, I don't fucking care. It's like, it comes to a point where, are you just here to harass me? Like, I don't understand. Like, are you hanging on my every? It's weird. So, but I did say something in hers. I just said, well, that's the problem, is that Google, it's all censored. You can't go in and listen to what Google says. You have to go in and listen to the real people. The testimonials are flooded in my FYP. All you got to do is go listen to real people and see the truth. They're lying. And, but that, the blue is, like, the red has big problems, but the blue is like, man. And I had said before too, is people don't realize that all these healers and stuff, they're all blue. Just think about it. Are all these Christians going to go out and do tarot cards and all this shit? No, they're all blue. And people don't realize, and they are being misled. They're very misled on certain topics. And so that's, and people just jump on and follow all them, these spiritual people. And we'll see. There probably will be more speaking out. You know, uh, we'll see. But, you know, when I started doing in 2020, when I started becoming aware of the planned division is, and I had been listening to all those spiritual people for a long while. And then when I was going in and listening to them, they had no idea. They were very much like, oh, you better wear this. You better do this. It's like, you know, they're loading down on these and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what the fuck? And then there started being all of these red people who were live all day long talking about the crazy shit. And I was like, how are they more awake? Like, what is, like, how is this? Like, I was trying to figure it out. And the thing that got me that I saw was that it's because the ones that were red had already felt the pressure on their rights. It's once you feel the pressure on your rights and you kick back, you push back, and it's like, wait a minute, this doesn't feel good to me. What are you fucking doing? And they had already been going after them so hard. I mean, Hillary, like, there's probably a lot of blue people who don't even realize, like, Hillary was out there calling them deplorables and calling them names. They were literally had people, like, half the people turning on them. Like, there's people like, you know, oh, you wear a red shirt, you're going to get your ass kicked. And then think about that. So who's the ones that are more passive? Who's the ones that are more like, let's come together? These other ones, they lose their fucking minds if you go off their script and stuff. And they have a very different way of looking at things. And all of their stuff is going to come to the surface and stuff. They're so fucking hateful. That's what gets me, is they're so hateful and they're so derogatory. They believe that so much arrogance, man. That is the biggest thing. This riding this for fucking so long now. It's like, oh my God, the ego and the arrogance and shit on some of these people. It's like there's no other way. There has to be this giant fucking thing that's gonna happen. And just look at all the things leading up to it. Like, just look at how many things are going down. Oh, my one daughter told me, by the way, Adele, now she's rescheduled her concert. So she's going to be in Vegas at the end of the month. And then going to fly to Belize after that for the rest of through her birthday and stuff. And it's like, this is another thing where I just got to be like, fuck. I can't put my paranoia on somebody else. They got to go live their life. I can't be telling them, don't do that, even though to me it sounds like this is insane. This is literally insane. And but I gotta let it go. Like, I have no idea. Like, none of us know what's anybody's storyline. I have no clue. And I can't sit here and freak out. I can't cry. I can't, you know, you just gotta live your life. And with it, every single day, we got to take into consideration we could lose everybody in one day. We can lose anything in one day, in 1 second. And that's something that, you know, I'm pretty sure the Bible has made it clear. And I have some different, like, phrases and stuff coming into my head, but I don't know them well enough to even say, but it's like the moment, the hour is unknown, only to God himself or something. But it's really, if you want to be worshiping, who knows, then you'd be worshiping destiny. It's like, but the thing is with destiny, it's like waiting. I swear to God, it's like your soul waiting in line at an amusement park and then getting up there to get on the ride, and you take the seat that best is that goes for what it is that you're trying to learn, or what you're putting together, or what you're trying to balance, or whatever. So you go into a role, and then that's like, and just like, think about, you know, it's kind of like what we're breaking free from, honestly. The chaos of the gods fighting against themselves. Oh, which, by the way, too, people who are over in the places where missiles are being shot, they're going out and watching UFOs go up and shoot them down. So I told you, UFO, like, and the big crash that happened in DC, that was seen going across 4 different states. They're trying to make this big thing about hiding it, not saying anything about Alexis telling oh, well, it's a spaceship. It crashed in the water and they got it and all this stuff. So it's all this stuff. They're trying to hit us so hard all of a sudden with, oh yeah, there's aliens. Look, they're everywhere. They're coming in. It's like, I think part of it is the aliens aren't giving them any choice anymore. They're like, we're coming in hot. Time is up. Disclosure is coming in. And that is where we're going to find out a lot of our truth and stuff. But then there's another thing too, where Elon just said that like 95% of the things you see in the sky are not from outer space, which, is he insinuating about the multidimensional? Because that is the thing that people don't understand, is a doorway can open right here. Like a door could just all of a sudden open here and something just fly through, because we were surrounded by portals. And it depends on, where people find their opening to go through. And your passport through any portal is your vibration. And that's why some people can go through them, like in the forest or whatever, or in a road or whatever. But the thing is it's not going to a higher one. Admiral Byrd was one of the ones who did go to a higher vibration. But they told him when he went in there, the reason you came in was because of your vibration. It's your vibration that allowed you in, because his vibration was high enough to move into their space. So it is, everything about your travel is your vibration. And your vibration is higher when you are releasing things, when you are living more in the light. You're not trying to manipulate the energy, when you have respect for the energy. Like, Jesus Christ, we don't have people respecting fucking dogs and cats and other people, their parents, their kids, much less just the overall energy of the universe. So I swear, I say people are just so spiritually inept. They're just bankrupt. They're spiritually bankrupt. They have no concept. And then this new Western spirituality is just this wave of Dolores Cannon information from 10 years ago or something. They don't even realize how three-dimensional that it is, and the focus and stuff. The Eastern side is about finding peace in yourself. The other side is about going out and manipulating the world so that you can be happy. Okay. Well, let's just see, let's just see what this comes down to. And everything is about finding balance. Everything is about you finding balance between the light and the dark. Oh yeah, because the thing with the indulgence and the restriction, because so many people live in restriction, and so many people are going through these changes, like the people are trying to have these big weight losses. They're changing their hair, they're changing their makeup, they're changing their lifestyles, like all these different things. And so this person, let me see what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, because it was, there's so many of these people who are, they want to lose weight and stuff, but they live it as a restrictive. Like, they can't have this, they can't have that. And there's other way to look at it. And it is like, because I'm getting like these like little scraps. So let me see if I can put it together. It's so much easier when it's like in a conversation. But throughout the day, it's like all these different like little back and forth things. And so sometimes you'll talk about something and it's not just in one conversation. But so like in a restrictive is like living in lack. It's like not giving yourself what you need. Well, you don't deserve that. You can't have that. And so it's carrying that attitude towards yourself physically. And so it's very, it's kind of being hateful towards yourself. And when you are more indulgent, but you can't just go into full indulgence, because then that creates gluttony, and it gets things completely out of balance. So you can't just indulge in everything that you want to any amount. Like there has to be a cutoff, right? Like I was saying, even most people who do that purging and whatever it is, where they eat a bunch and then they puke it out or whatever, the in the amounts that they eat, because I've seen these videos talking about these girls talking about like what they would eat, and then one of those things where they, whatever it's called, indulge, they eat a lot of stuff. It's insane. And there's some people, that just can't stop themselves. They get a bag of cookies and then can't stop themselves. They finish the whole bag of cookies, maybe even get a block of ice cream to go with it. And they can't stop themselves. And then afterwards, then they feel guilt and they hate themselves. And that's where some of those ones go start puking it out and get mad at themselves, start hitting them, like all sorts of things. There's people who cut themselves, hit themselves, do all sorts of things, like jump up and eat one bite of food and then start exercising. If I do that, it's because I'm up cooking so I'm filling in the time with my things. It's not the mindset of like, oh my God, I just ate food, so I better hurry and work it off. But there is people who live like that. To me, it's more of like I have my exercise that I do a few times throughout the day. So, and I do that because it's way easier. It's way easier to do it in little blocks throughout the day than it is to fucking for an hour pound myself with fucking picking up weights and stuff. Just getting through a few minutes, I'll be tired. Like my muscles be like, oh, that was rough, man. So yeah, I sit there and beat myself up for an hour and then spend the rest of the day not doing anything. I'd rather just do it throughout the day. It just gives you energy throughout the day too, because energy begets energy. And so but that mindset of living in lack or then indulgence and then getting guilt and then being mad at yourself. So you have to find a midstream, and that is where guilt has a healthy component to closing you down, to closing you off. So you're eating a few cookies, because this is something that the people that live in lack can't stand. They can't stand to feel guilt. It's like it drives them crazy to feel guilty about food. So they would rather just like, I'm just not going to eat, because they feel guilt and all they can do is think about the food and all that stuff all day long. And they become consumed. But it's like, it's not a healthy approach. You got to me, it's like you got to be indulgent in the things that you love. But then you got to have a restriction to a point where it's like, okay, well, I've had enough. I've had some. I don't need to eat it all. And so enjoy your thing. And this is another thing too, as I've talked about before, but the portion size. Like, I don't know where we ever came to eating off of these big plates. Like, I think that some of the plates that we use for dinner plates now used to be platters. People did not eat as much as they did before, and people were healthier. I can't say that they were healthier, because then supposedly people were dying when they were 30, but they were probably being tested all these fucking diseases on. But they were a lot more fit. Like, they were in better shape, and they had more endurance. Like, people could be out there, whatever. I think that a lot of kind of eggs and ham kind of things for breakfast, like a hearty breakfast at some points for farmers or something. But at some points, yeah, there's been points in time where there was really problems with food. And there has been for different people. It's all different scenarios for different situations for different souls to play out. So but like a farmer or whatever, have some eggs and ham for breakfast and go work out on the farm all day long and then come in and eat some. I think there was a lot, so that's where meat and potatoes came a lot, where more people are starting to realize that potatoes is the way to go. You get something more than just eating pasta and rice. That it has stuff that has minerals or whatever. I don't know about all of our geomagnetic fucking goddamn geoengineered potatoes, though. Like, everything is so goddamn. We just live in this fake ass world. And so anyways, what was I saying about that? So going and feeling like so some of the people, it's like that it's like they overly indulge instead of minding their body. So they go past what is healthy for them. And then they just think, well, their body can't keep up with their choices. Like, But it's like maybe you need to look at it differently. Like you are making choices is not right for your body, and you got to focus more on your body because everything is about this finding this balance in between. But there's the two different energies of but they both have a way of being negative. And so it's very much like you got to have a healthy relationship with yourself and your eating and stuff, and finding your, I don't know, your pace of what you need, what's good for you. Like, I don't know, everybody's got to find it, but there's just this such a hate. People just go into hating themselves and restricting things. It's always their body's fault. And, you know, when they're hungry and what are they going to do? Like their body keeps being hungry, but then it keeps gaining weight and stuff like that. It's, if you turned your attitude around, I think you would see things turn around. Because I think that it triggers, as soon as the hunger or something, it triggers this whole thing of hate in your body. And then you set up this whole restrictive beat down on yourself. And everything, it just has to do with finding this balance of what is good for you and what isn't. And everybody's got to do it for themselves. And everybody's out of balance in their own ways. And so it's up to each person to find the road to their own health. That's why I said everything is this, just making this determination on this path of the, so it's like you get on the ride and it's a set ride and it's written in the stars. So your ride, your life plan, everything and everybody you're ever going to meet, it's all set up before you ever go in. So every single thing is exactly where it's supposed to be at all times. And you, and your experience is exactly what it's supposed to be. So it's not like, you know, you're going to get up today and you're going to do something and just throw everything off. Whatever you're going to do was always what you were going to do. So that is the thing, is where these people think like, oh, I did something different, so I changed everything. It isn't like that. And on the timeline thing, or on the two different paths, because I could definitely feel the difference when I went towards this other path. I felt very much, well, I would say it was more of, because choosing the path was back, I would say back in 2017. I think it was probably, you know, once I got triggered, and then your match person, I don't know, it brings you up or something. I don't know how to explain it. Kind of like, I don't know, you want to meet their vibration, or you know the vibration that you're going to meet, or you know, like it gives you like a focus or something, like, which I don't know how to explain it, because that's not, like if you, because I don't know that everybody sees their person ahead. Like I question all the time, like why? And I'll get things back, but it still is like, it's so strange, but it has like taught me a lot. It's shown me a lot. Like, I mean, I realized like, fuck, I was talking to this person when I was a kid, when I was in my room and stuff. And, there was like this merge of us at this time when I was a kid. Like, I wouldn't have known that if I wouldn't have known who it was ahead. So I know that there's a reason for all of the different things. Like, I'm really trying to get out of the habit of questioning the universe, but it still is a part of the conversation, you know, like why, like, make it make sense to me. But definitely to me, when I saw my match person, well, it was confusing for a while, and then they kept showing me all this stuff where I was like, oh, well, this is like some kind of a deep soul connection. And then but when I would see the person, then it was like, you know, like to me, I felt like, well, that's some big shoes to fill. Like, you sure about this? And so you have to believe in yourself to go in that direction. But then it was like when I started doing this, then I definitely felt like I went through something. I went through a door, like an entryway. Ooh, yesterday too, I got this cool vision. It was like, because I understand about portals being doors and stuff. And mirrors, like water and reflection, are used as portals too. But um, for us, when we get more into this, being able to not manipulate, but maneuver ourselves through, is the different realities and realms and stuff, is you could go on and draw a doorknob and go up and then turn the doorknob and create your own door. So you could create your own portal. And so which I think is cool, but I mean, we're I don't think we're quite there yet. I think we have a ways to go, but there is beings that can do that, that can just go through and make portals. Like I said, they could just like zoom through. And it is it's because of like, just like if you took a piece of cloth that was been woven, and then you held it up to the light, you would see patterns, but you would see patterns of light come through, because it would be not exactly together. So that is how the universe is. I think it's like woven. And so it is, there's holes, and they want to call them wormholes or whatever. To me, it's like portals. It's like wormholes, I guess. Makes sense. But there is like these holes where it's not the same frequency. So the part that is holding it together, like this is one frequency, but then the spaces in between, that's different. And so it's like we can move through those. And there's some that is like they're used by a lot of different beings and stuff like that. So they're big portals. And I've seen a lot of videos of like portals opening up in the sky and stuff like that. And so that, see, because they can open a portal, like there was a footage of something all of a sudden just being in the sky. That's when it goes through a portal. And when it all of a sudden is going and it disappears, it's because it's going through a portal. You just can't see it. It doesn't mean it's disappeared. It just is in another vibration once it goes into that other space. And so that is the thing about frequency. You can only see it when it's in your frequency. So something that can be going in and out of your frequency, it is still going someplace. It just is not in your reality for very long. And which I think that this, yeah, I think it is that the pressure of all of a sudden, oh, there's aliens, we got them crashing in, we got this, they're all over the place. They got to shut down DC. And then also there was footage, yesterday was all these cops. There was so many cops. And somebody was just walking around. It was like 4 a.m. and there was cops everywhere. And he had no idea what was going on. So he didn't even know about the thing crashing down, I don't think. But then there was tons of videos and people showing the thing crashing down and people hearing it and all of that stuff. But then the government's talking about it. But see, that is, this is how people wake up. Because that is the thing too, of like these blue, the blue people, not the J Blues, but that's funny too. So not, yeah, the Blue Jays, and but the regular blues over here, the red versus blue. The blues, are so hateful and whatever. And like they just are like, just a quick Google search. That's like when my sister would like, well, Snopes said everything I would say. Well, Snopes said. It's like, okay, believe Snopes, don't believe me. But that is, like, I've been dealing with that this whole time through all this. But but yeah, her sitting there saying that during the stuff with these people. But that is one thing over here in Tennessee, over there in Tennessee and Florida and North Carolina, all these different places, which Nadine now is headed. So another hurricane is headed there. And you have all the people, the prayer people and stuff. They're trying to move it. And the people asking them, please move this hurricane too. So we got all that stuff going on. And so um the blue people, let me think what I was saying about it. The not the Blue Jays, but the regular Blues that they what was I gonna say? There's somewhere because it's all, everything is about where people aren't seeing things, but it's like their biases are what holds them back. But what was I going to say about them? Because it was something about I can't remember. Um, oh yeah, okay. So the Chinese president guy has come out, and the translation they say, like, I can't translate it myself. So anything that you can't understand yourself, you gotta be like, well, it's a maybe. If you don't see it yourself or whatever, it's a maybe. Um, but he's come out now and said that Soros, that fella, that he is like the devil. It also is the Romans, that fall the Romans out became the Vatican. So we've been into the Roman Empire this whole time or something, and that which it has been all this stuff. It is we've been into the control of the church and the crown for a long time, and the crown is so ridiculous. It's not even fucking real. I mean, those people will just like sleep with the. There's a whole thing about the queen mother. Her mom is really like the maid or something. There's so much stuff that is like they try and act like they're also purebloods and all that stuff. They're all just uh, they're just I don't know. They're a bunch of fucking vampires and lizards, and they're a bunch of fucking phonies and fakes. Um. Oh yeah. So. Oh yeah. Okay. So over in Nashville, Tennessee, and all that stuff, them not having the news talk about it, and them being left on their own, and nobody saying anything and stuff. That's waking all these people up, though. And there is I saw footage where there is all these restrictions where they're not letting people pass. But now they're saying, oh, it's because of all the dead bodies. And now they're saying, oh, well, there's at least 1,600 people missing. I had heard 65,000 were dead. But that's in one of those things where you're just like, well, that's what I heard. But that's what I would say. It's probably bigger numbers than what they're saying. Because they washed away whole towns, whole families and stuff. And you still have the aftermath going. There's still people who don't have food. They don't have things. There's people killing themselves. There's just a big fucking fuck fest over there. And one thing too is people who are over in the area say it's like a horror movie. They say it's so fucking horrible. I'm sure with the smell and everything's washed away, and there's the feeling of death everywhere. But there's buzzards everywhere, vultures everywhere, and just picking at all the dead stuff. And so it's real dystopian horror movie, kind of creepy. But that to me is also those signs of like, get the fuck out of here. Just leave this place. People have all got to be moving in. The time traveler guy, well, I don't know, there's several. But the one time traveler guy, he said that it's November. Okay, so what he said was so there's about to be something in at the end of October, he said. And then in November, I think it was this 9.9 earthquake that's going to hit LA, but then it's going to create a tsunami that's going to go and take out the rest of it. So they're saying, like, this guy's saying that California is going to be gone next month. So we'll see, because he said it's going to be an earthquake and then a tsunami, just back to back. I don't know. And then something, I can't remember what it was. Oh, okay, so there's a bunch of earthquakes over by like South Carolina or something. So there's been some earthquakes over there. And then I think by St. Louis or something. But I think that's what he said, that there was going to be a big earthquake or something over there. Or something. I don't remember. I always pay attention to the ones over here though, because I'm over here. And there's the ones where is saying that there's going to be this big tsunami, that there's something with the tsunami. And then we've got the fucking earthquakes in the bottom. There's so much stuff going on. It is so intense, man. And that is where my body just feels like it's like fucking on go. It's the weirdest thing. And when I lay down, it feels like it's like electrical shooting through my body and stuff. And it hurts so bad. Like even if you like hold your hand, like if I were to hold my hand like this for a couple, like I can't even do it for very long. Like it's already hurting. Then it won't stop hurting. It will just keep hurting and hurting and hurting and hurting. And so then when you're sleeping and you're laying in one position, and then it wakes you up, and you can't get it to stop hurting. And to me, what I think that has to do with, I don't think it's just ascension symptoms or whatever. I think that for some of us, is that some of these poisons, they trigger an autoimmune response in our body. So our body becomes hyper diligent. And so it's on high alert. And so every little motherfucking thing, it's inflammation, it's pain. And so those things are, you know, I think a lot of people are having like autoimmune responses to all these poisons and stuff. So that's what I think is that I have that going on. And then I have this sickness, like being outside yesterday was totally foggy, of course, in the morning. And then, but then I was out all during yesterday because like it's supposed to start this big rainstorm. We got this big fucking whatever, if it's going to be windstorm or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. Oh, that was the other thing too, the guy said. The December, that we're going to have a blizzard that's going to come in, and it's going to be the worst blizzard ever, and that there's going to be people who can't get out of their houses for months. People are going to die. It's going to be this big old fucking thing. And all these storms have names and stuff. I don't remember. So, I don't know. I don't know if these people are just, guys, the category 6 fucking hurricane still hasn't happened. I thought when they were saying that that was going to go, that was going to be it. But now, I'm still will go and listen when I hear all these people say, because I know what's coming, and I'm always listening for like if there's some other kind of a sign or something. But it just keeps being like these places are going to be underwater. They're going to be underwater. Oh, well, there's also something where I heard, I think it was a different time traveler, but there's supposed to be something that's going to go down in New York. There's supposed to be some stuff where a lot of places are going to be underwater. I guess the water is going to rise, and there's going to be, because there's just going to be this bullshit, this disasters. It's going to be one after another. It's not just HAARP. It's the fucking change. It's the end of something and the beginning of something else. And we're not supposed to be just sitting here moving hurricanes and stuff like that. We're supposed to learn how to relax and let things happen around us. And us coming in and fighting the thing that we came here to experience is our own ignorance, our own lack of memory of who and what we are or something. Because once you enter the ride, you've already gone into the like, okay, this is what I'm coming here to do and experience. And then you start the thing, and then people don't want to go through their experience. And everybody has their own unique experience. Everybody has a good, a positive timeline and a negative timeline. You have both sides. And so when you are going for your negative, that is where you just find yourself being so down on yourself and hateful to yourself. And then when you are on your positive one, you will find challenges of being able to trust yourself and believe in yourself. Jesus Christ, hold on. Something is hitting my throat. God. It's really scratchy. But see, I think there's definitely sickness being outside all the time. I'm bringing out my tissues. I have more coming. I keep going through those boxes of tissues like crazy. But the oh man. But the being outside, Definitely is breathing in all these infiltrates and shit, which causes the nose running. Oh yeah, and there's also now where they're coming out and saying, glaucoma, all the eye things, all the eye blindness is all parasites. So, see, and I'm telling you, the black seed oil, I'm seeing such a difference with my vision. But I could see these things in my eye where I was saying it looks like there's bugs in my eye. And then over here, where it was like, to me, they have set up, there's still a spot in here I can't see through. There's still like, I would say that's probably, which is weird because it's so close to this thing. And this thing, oh, my nose is my nose running too. This thing is still, it's really tiny, but it hurts. And that is really close to the part that's fucked up on my eye. And then I know that this would be the botulism. And so that's like right next to my eye. And then my eye has issues because they collapse my optic nerve when they collapse my brain. So that is, it's a weak point in my system. But anyways, definitely the black seed oil, I feel like, and I haven't been doing the, the horse paste, but I have done the clay stuff a couple of times. And, but I'm keep doing the horse paste stuff for Stella, because I'm really trying, I feel so certain that, man, fuck. I just feel like, oh, I'm snotting, like, oh, this is ridiculous. Trying to get rid of the stuff that I believe, that we would consider to be cancer on her. And so I'm giving her more and more and more of that. And she's also, I've got both of them on diatomaceous earth in the morning. So she's doing diatomaceous earth in the morning, and then in the afternoon, the horse paste. And then also I give her out of my tea, which that has the burdock root, and the burdock root is also in the acaic tea, because it is one that gets parasites and crap out of you. So she gets some of that. It also has some honey in it, which honey is really good for dogs. And it helps them to fight allergies and all that kind of stuff too. It's got antimicrobial and stuff, so it helps them as well. So she gets some of the honey and all my other stuff too, because it has all my other roots, dandelion root, the moringa, the spirulina. That was another one too, is like, they tell us to drink this sterile water that they purify and clear up, but then we need to have the seaweed and the salts and stuff out of the water. And this little fish thing, I keep thinking, I wonder if it's the rust that is what the rust is what the iron is in. Because, I know that the other thing, this thing gets so rusty, like, and it makes sense. Like, you can't have cast iron. If you leave water in your cast iron, it's going to get rusty. So, and then this is being boiled in water, so I don't know. It seems weird. I'm just going to look more into it. Just because it seems weird. But I'm, like, in the cast iron skillets and stuff, they can get rusty, but I don't know. I'm going to look more into it, because the whole thing is weird with the lead, and there being lead in it too. And I don't know that this one does. I'd have to get the lead testing kit, and then I need to test all my cast iron. If you get the lead testing kit, you need to test all your cast iron, because like I said, especially older cast iron. So, I don't know, but that's the thing, is like, even if I said, this is the best thing, and this is what works for me, somebody else could go do it and not work at all for them. So we all have to go out and see what works for us. We all have to be our own mad scientists and try and figure out what works best for us. And that takes some experimenting. Try a little of this, what happens? Try a little of that, what happens? And some of the things you have to give them like a period of time, like to see. I think within a few weeks, though, within 3 weeks or 4 weeks, if you don't see any kind of thing, you don't feel any kind of thing, then, reevaluate, if you need it or you don't need it or whatever. But we all have to go through and figure out what it is that we need and don't need. I just know our bodies need a lot of minerals, but we all have different ones that we need. And sometimes I just go in and get some of those grains of that Celtic salt because it has a whole bunch of minerals, and it's just trying to give your body what it needs all the time. And especially while I keep having all this pain, like I've been using all this magnesium spray, taking magnesium, and still to have pain because magnesium is supposed to stop with the inflammation and stuff. And then the other thing too is the potassium. So then that's where it's like, well, if I get the Celtic salt and take some of that, but then I'm still having it. That's why I was like, I think it's this. It's already set the domino effect into this autoimmune system thing that my body is doing. It felt attacked by something, so then it goes crazy, and then we're under these constant attacks. But then there's this whole huge energy because there is all these things waking these people up, even if it's like different things waking up different people. But the things that seems like it's going to be getting bigger, there's some people who are projecting that they think Joe is going to come out and support Donald here in a couple minutes. The more that Kamala's shit keeps blowing up, is that there's so much stuff like unheard things. It's so ridiculous. Like this whole thing is just so fucking ridiculous, man. And her husband and all that stuff. The stuff she says, like she constantly contradicts herself. And she just is like say whatever. And that's like what Mama Todd's doing. See, this is this energy. And it's going to be being purged out because it's so like, it's so wishy-washy and so icky. It's like, where's your integrity? And that is, to me, I got to stand with what I believe. I can't just, because it's real easy. Like I could see, what motivates her, but I had to clarify that to myself the first time somebody disagreed with me. I had to be like, okay, so do I placate? Do I just put myself aside in order to have following? Or do I stand true in what I believe and just continue to say what I believe? And if somebody doesn't agree with it or does agree with it, it's up to them. It's not, and that is the direction that I went. And to me, that is, you got to stand with it, your integrity. You got to be true to yourself first. And you can't just be all wishy-washy and be all over the place. And so that, Calm was definitely doing, Mom Todd's definitely doing that. I'm sure there's more people on all different scales, but her partner, her running mate, that perv, like, god damn, the story coming out on him. Ugh, God, some of these guys are so disgusting. They're so fucking pervy. And this poor kid, too. He was 14, and Tim keeps telling him, well, you're gay. And so the guy starts thinking, well, I must be gay. He didn't even figure it out until he got in high school and started being attracted to girls. He hadn't even been in that point yet of being like, that's where they keep getting it with these kids. Like, you're trying to get them to think about things that they aren't ready to think about. They don't need to be making gender decisions before their fucking puberty and shit. Like, if you have a kid who is very self-motivated on that, but that's not what we have. We have a school pushing an agenda, and kids that want to be liked have to go with the agenda. I've already heard about that at the school. If you are If you are a rainbow, you are, if you aren't rainbow, then you are, a problem. So it's a total agenda, but the school things are going to be falling apart because it's going to become more and more outrageous, and it could fall apart before the end of the year. Like anything can happen at any point, and it will. Like something big is about to happen. So many people can feel it. People who, like, I see videos all the time of people being like, man, anybody else feel like something big is about to happen? Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I feel so weird. Like something big is about to happen and I don't even know what it's about. So many of those videos. And so many people crying, telling people, like, you got to leave these areas, you got to leave these areas. But, we can't. If you were meant to be taken out in one of these storms and you tried to leave and go, you would be taken out by a different storm or in a car crash on the way. You can't run from the inevitable. And it's just so strange, like how these people even think like, well, we move the hurricane. So all those people that were supposed to die that day, you stop that, then what happens? Some of this stuff where they say it's like, you got to think it through. Like, are you really thinking things through on a spiritual perspective? Are you really looking at it through a spiritual perspective? Are you just looking at it through this three-dimensional thing, and then I don't know, what these people call it a spiritual battle because they think that they're battling the devil. And I don't know. To me, we've got this clarity is going to be coming because there is more of the spacemen coming. Like I've seen tweets. Like I'll see somebody on TikTok share tweets and stuff. There's a lot of sharing tweets, but it seems like there's tweets that are definitely from the Galactic Federation or something. These people are like, the Galactic Federation said, that we're going to know soon. Our history will be shown to us or something. Maybe that would be the thing that would come on the TV. That would be interesting. They just start showing us our history. AI could do it. They don't need to go make a movie. AI could just make a movie. That is a thing. Like, why do they spend so many millions and billions of dollars making movies? That's a laundry thing, man. That's a laundry thing, I swear to God. Because AI could just go in and make the movie itself. Maybe that is the problem why there started being that, there was that whole thing with I think it's it was the actors and the actresses union or something fighting against, is that the SAG people or something fighting against, because the people who make movies and stuff start saying, well, we can just use your image. We don't need to pay you. We have your image and we can just use it. So they started being like, no, you can't use my image. So there was that whole thing playing out. And it goes with everything that we're talking about and going with, but most people weren't paying any attention to them because everybody's trying to cancel Hollywood because they're mad at themselves for idolizing and being tricked and believing people. So it's their own discernment that they're mad about, and they're lashing out at other people, blaming them for their lack of a discernment. So once you can let go of that, because that is very much stereotyping, putting everybody in the same chamber. It's like, not everybody's the same. It's like, that's the problem with biases. You keep trying to lump everybody in the same kind of thing. And so you can't just go overall with Hollywood. There was good people. There's bad people. There's good people. There was people who were being taken advantage of. In every single one of our job kind of places, they've got these same fucking criminals. Is it going to be, what was this one I just seen? Which in Colorado Springs or something, they just found a whole bunch of dead kids. Like 24 dead kids over a wall that were all missing kids or some horrible thing. I think, is it a school or a daycare or something weird? But it was someplace that they're doing something, like they've got these fires, like Wyoming one, all these places where they're trying to get the resources and BlackRock's involved, and Kamala's husband's involved, and all this stuff. But there was one where I saw where the people were saying the developers. Oh, this one was in Florida. Oh, okay. So it was the developers of the wetlands. So there's some place in Florida that is underwater right now, and the water keeps rising. And they were saying this is the corruption that we have with the developers developing the wetlands. And this is, everything is going to keep falling apart because that is what everything is been corrupted, because they are corrupt. And it's not just Hollywood. Developers are rotten. We got rotten people in administration and doctors. That if you think of the judicial as the administrative level of the corporation, they're fucking corrupt as a motherfucker. Like, there's so much corruption everywhere around us. And that's gonna be the thing is there's people working in those jobs, not just fucking Hollywood. It's everywhere around us. The lies, the media, there's just lots of people who knew shit and didn't tell shit. And so, everything is going to just keep falling apart. It's not just fucking Hollywood. There's just a lot of things. Everything has to be revamped, regrouped. And it's not going to be like how it was before. This corporate money that is trying to control us. It's going to be a lot more independent. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to change, but for sure, one thing is movies, they wouldn't even need any of that stuff. Nobody would even need to go on. You wouldn't need the people to be making out with somebody they're not married to. You wouldn't need somebody, none of that stuff, because it could all be, AI could write out our whole motherfucking history in movie form and show it to us, same day. So, that would be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen. I know that we're going to see and miss all these things that are happening are leading in. This is our eyes opening through all of this stuff, and all of the things that you open your eyes to. It also creates lessons and stuff, because for sure I've had so many lessons through this of learning how to let go and just let things happen the way they're meant to happen, and not trying to control things, and finding peace. And then with the, all the people being, my own family members, all it's like flying around. It's like, God damn, these airplanes, like, this is so, oh God. There's so many more people who are noticing that the planes are low, or you hear them for a long time and you can't see them at all. And the sounds, like, everything is changing. And, at the moment of the shift, there's going to be planes and stuff that are going to fall out of the air, I think. And I don't know. It's like the energy letting go for a minute. It seems like. It's like the energy, like I said, it's like we're in the dark energy. And the light is there, but it is like very much to the people in the dark. The light is like, oh, they don't want to look at it. It's too early for that. And so the light, it makes you have to see your truth and feel things and stuff. And a lot of people aren't ready for that. They're still having the dark blow up in their faces. So the energy of the dark is, our main world. That's why I say it's like we live in hell already. This is the lowest vibration. This is so restrictive. And so all of the heaviness of the darkness is how everybody is living. And then this abrupt shift. So it very much is like this abrupt shift is like, I swear to God, I always see it as like the bars at closing time, and the lights come on at 1:30 no, it's like 1:45 in the morning, because the last call starts like at 1:15 or 1:30. Because the people want to get the hell out of the bars. They don't want to stay there working. So they start doing last call. But you can't do last call at 2. The bars are supposed to be closed at 2. So they start doing last call like at 1:15. So a lot of people start leaving and pairing up and going around that time. And then it will go on. They'll be calling last call, telling people, you can't stay here. You need to be finding a thing. And they'll do that for, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes. And then they'll turn the lights on. So the lights come on like at 1:45. And to me, it's like always this, it looks very different when the lights come on. And I think, and it's almost too, like, there being an orgy in the bar when the lights come on. Like, there's going to be very, very much about people feeling exposed and their pervy being seen and their weaknesses being seen and stuff. So it's very much going to be that kind of, but it's going to be like the lights all of a sudden come on and then it's like a whole new world. Everybody's seeing things for the first time, and there's going to be a lot of people are going to feel a lot of shame. I think most people feel shame, but their shame is turned more into anger at the rest of the world. And so this is to go in and take responsibility of yourself and find why do I feel shame and where does it come from and how can I heal it instead of just blaming other people for my feelings. And so they're going through all that healing, but that moment of the lights coming on and stuff is going to be super abrupt, and it's going to be the energetic shift. It's going to be the pull shift. It's going to be this like boom, everything is different. And then I've heard from a lot of like the astrology, which that's all based on, like, everything is so fucking bullshit. But but it's supposed to happen within the next few months. Like, it could happen at any moment, this pole shift thing. But that is going to be, to me, the mass awakening. Because people are going to see things that they hadn't seen before. But the thing that's going to hit them the hardest is they're going to have a look at themselves because of their way that they acted and their attitude. And especially considering they didn't have the whole story. And like the arrogance of these people, like, it's a simple Google, for God's sakes. It's like, oh my God, my pages are so, like, why would I need a Google something when I see it all day long? And you hear the people saying that these people aren't coming and helping them and that they're not doing shit. And and then when you know the history, those people are just there to go and grab up the orphans. That's what those agencies are for. Storm, grab up the orphans. So it's, it's not what these people think. And so they're just going to show their own ignorance and their own biases and all that stuff. So that's the part that they're going to see when the lights come on. And that's why it's going to be very heavy for a while, where to me, that's the tribulation. It's this period of time of really having to look at yourself as like percolate on your own attitude. And that is, that's what you have to do in order to release it. You have to really percolate in there on it and find out what the hell's going on. And so you can release these things. And that's the shift of everything turning in this other direction. It goes into this period of time of like, that is the redemption, is you facing yourself and redeeming yourself and learning how to love yourself and learning how to love others and learning how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So I'll talk to you later. Now that it came up, that's just where we're going to go. So anyways, have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.